Alright, so we're going to fix the hydraulic leak on the back of this PTO right there. If you can't tell, I don't know if it'll be bright enough, but you can see the sheen of oil right there underneath the PTO output shaft, and we're going to fix it. So I've ordered the seal. The first seal I got, when I first did these videos, I purchased a seal, and it was the wrong seal. I got confused on the parts diagram, and it seemed small when I picked it up. And needless to say, it was incorrect. So this seal for the back, and I'll show it to you here in a little bit, is actually 60 bucks. So I definitely was not too excited about that. But we really can't have a machine with a leaky PTO. So the first thing I'm going to do, just to give myself a little bit more working room, is I'm going to take the fender deck off. That is just 10 millimeter socket and wrench. There are 2 bolts back here on either side of the seat, so one there, and then there are 2 bolts on each side of the between the footrest and the fender pan, and so those are just super easy to take out. We'll have to disconnect the seat safety switch, and if your lights are plugged in, we'll have to unplug the lights. Neither one of these lights are plugged in. In fact, I've got this one out at the current moment. I ordered some parts for the lights. We'll probably go ahead and put the new lenses in and everything for the lights before we put the fender pan back on. So I'll get busy doing that. We'll take the fender pan off, and then we'll probably take the arms of the 3-point off, and then we'll start working. We'll stack the gas tank up. That way we got some light in there. We can start looking around. I don't know if I'm going to jack the rear end of the machine up yet or not and put it on jack stands and take the tires off. Probably give us a lot more area to work with, but I don't think I necessarily need it. We'll see once we get the fender pan off. So I'm going to work on that, and once I get that done, we'll come back and show you my progress and everything that we're going to do to replace this seal. Okay, so we're going to see, there's a couple different ways I could approach this. The seal is behind all of this assembly here. So what I've already obviously pushed the gas tank up, and I've taken off the PTO guard, these 4 bolts right there. I think you can see them, yep. And next thing I have to do is I have to take this locking mechanism off. This is where the stub shaft goes. You just need a set of snap ring pliers. This set is almost too small for this job. Okay, so I got the snap ring off. Now, to make sure everything doesn't fly apart, because there is a spring in here, and so all the little detente balls are going to come out. There's 3 total. So all you have to do is spin it around like so, and the balls will come out one by one. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. So now I have the balls out, and you can just let the spring tension off, and then it comes apart just like that. And then you can pull that off, and that right there is the seal we need. Now I'm not quite sure the best route to replace the seal. I can either come at it from the front, so this side, or I can take the back half of the case off and come at it that way. The problem with taking the back half of the case off is most likely right here, there's a bearing in this area right here. I'm just taking a guess based on how it's set up. And this bearing would possibly fall out. You've got parts that will fall out, etc. And also at the same time, you have a whole bunch of transaxle fluid that we just put in there not a month ago. And so you want to save as much of that as possible. So I think what I'm going to try to do, now this seal is $60, which does not excite me. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, I don't have the seal yet, so this will be the end of this part of the video. But I'm going to take and pull the seal out, and I'm actually going to try to replace this thing without taking this off. Now the problem is I want to make sure I can slide it over that shaft right there, this bigger part of the shaft right here. So that's what we're going to try. I don't know if it'll work. If it doesn't work, I'll probably ruin a $60 seal, cuss a lot, and go get another seal and take the cover off. So we're going to figure out how this works. I looked through all of my paperwork, and I don't have a manual for this machine, which is really weird. I have flat rate manual, parts manuals, all kinds of stuff, but I don't have a technical manual for this machine. So I'll put that on the want list at some point in the near future. But I think that's what we're going to do. You can tell it's been leaking pretty bad, and what I'm not wondering, it also moves quite a bit, so I'm wondering if that PTO is just not worn out, and I need it. What I'll end up doing is actually just putting a cover over the back. I don't know. We won't know until we try it. So that's what we're going to do. That's it for this part of the video. All right, so what I've done is I have actually sucked about 3/4 of a gallon of fluid out of the transaxle from the fill. We're going to see if that's enough. Who knows, I might just make a royal mess. But I've got my hook here, and we're going to see if we can't get the seal out. I have no earthly idea if this will be enough to get the seal out or not. It might be, might not be. I don't know. Sometimes you got to have a screw to do it. And I don't think that this is going to be the right tool for the job, based on what I'm seeing so far. So I think what I'm going to do is, nope. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get a screw and see if a screw will work. So there's about a half dozen different ways to get this seal out. It's just a matter of finding the best route with what you got, the tools you have. So I may get the seal out off camera, because I'm not going to sit here and video 8 million different ways to take a seal out. So I don't know if you'll get to see it on camera or not. If you do, great. If not, just know that you can pop it out a couple different ways, and I'll certainly tell you how I did it. So we'll see. All right, so I got the old seal out. Actually took me, light on here. Actually took me a little bit of time to get it out. I think somebody has replaced this seal before based on some of the paint missing and the gouging around the seal area itself. I probably did a little bit of it, but I didn't do a lot of it. For instance, there's a big gouge right here. That's not where it was leaking, so I'm not too concerned about it. I mostly came at from the top, so I probably created some of that in there. It's actually a very, very hard seal to remove. This is the seal right here. I'll take it out of the package here in just a minute and show you. It's a very unique seal, part number M806228. It's like 57 bucks from Deere. But now we're going to get it on there. So I'm going to take it out of the package. I don't think it'll take that much to get it on there. And so I won't have to remove the rear PTO. I did pull a gallon of fluid out of the transaxle. But this seal fits in there pretty tight. Hopefully this will solve my leaky problem. If it does not, I actually have a spare cover for the transaxle, and I will probably just take the entire rear PTO off and just leave it on a shelf until I have time to kind of mess with it. So we'll see. If it works, it works. Hopefully today the weather's nice, and if I can get it all reassembled, I'll actually put the deck on this machine and take it for a mow. Don't have that much to mow yet, but we'll at least take it for a trial run and see how it does. So I'll get the seal put in there. I don't think that's worth videoing because it's just a matter of just tapping it in over the spline or over the shaft and everything. I'll set a video camera up. Maybe just watch me put it in there. So yeah, it should be an easy fix. All right. So here's my seal. You can kind of see how it's specialized. I've gone ahead, put a little bit of grease around the outside. I don't exactly know how well you'll be able to see this. I'm just going to slide the seal over the shaft here, and kind of get it going straight. Now it's just going to take a lot of, I gotta go get a small hammer. Actually, I'll probably get I've got a little rubber hammer, little itty bitty rubber mallet that I'll use to tap around the outside. So I'll go do that and come back and work on it. Okay, got my little hammer. We're going to see how this works. I really have no desire to ruin this seal, to be perfectly honest, obviously. Tell you what, don't buy cheap flashlights. Alright, I'm going to work on this for a little bit, that way you don't have to watch me do this for 5 minutes, because I'm going to push this in there very slowly. I'll come back and show you when it's all sealed up. Alright, so about 5 minutes tapping later, just very tapping it a little bit, stopping, and checking to make sure it was level all the way around. Got the seal reinstalled, you can see it there, it's up nice against the case. Installed back here, looks really good. I've already gone ahead and actually put the transaxle fluid back in the differential, or back in the transaxle. So I'll go ahead and start putting everything back together. Got to put the shield back on, and then I'll start working on getting the fuel tank back down. Put the I guess I need to put the detente balls back in the connector and everything, and we'll have a running, driving, hopefully non-leaking 455. So I've replaced the oil pump, or the oil pressure sensor, so I don't think it's leaking anymore. Yeah, so I think we're about ready to go with this machine. The deck's ready to go. It's sitting right over here. So I'll get the deck underneath it and we'll give it a shot, see how it goes. The only thing I have left to do is the rear lights. I ordered some retainers from Auxiliary Hydraulics. They're out of I think Tallahassee, Florida. I've bought lots of products from them in the past, and for some reason I ordered stuff over a week ago, and it just shipped this morning. So yeah, we'll have to a little bit disappointed in that. Wish I would have had them for this weekend, but I'll get it all fixed up and we'll go from there. So probably the next video in this series will be the 455 mowing, hopefully.